Welcome to the GHQ Podcast, where we eliminate the suck with knowledge instead of luck. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. We're so excited. We've been wanting to get this going for a long time. And finally, here we are, podcasting it up with none other than Jarrod.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Dude, first of all, are you kidding me with this room?
It looks great.
Isn't this great?
It's awesome.
We did this in the back of the shop.
Where what used to be?
Well, we had ladies' stuff back here. We had shoes back here. It was literally the place where things went to die. So now it's where the podcast
Hopefully
lives.
doesn't go to die.
No. The podcast lives here.
The podcast lives here. Yep. It's a great spot for the podcast. As you can see, we painted the wall black. We got some amazing bags behind us. And this set kind of can change because we're going to start filming all of our own content in the shop. So no more just stock vendor shots, stock vendor videos. You're going to get to see us live and in person, telling you about the hottest equipment, telling you about the hottest fitting trends and shafts, and all of that stuff is going to be our pretty little mugs on all these videos.
Yeah, and sneak peek stuff too, right? We'll be able to let people know kind of what's coming as we get to see it, or maybe that we hear about it. So that'll be sick.
Yeah, you guys get to kind of get in on some of the secrets. Cool thing also is that we're not alone here. There's somebody sitting behind the producer chair, which is...
What's going on, guys? It's Connor.
Connor Benson. So we're excited to get going, and I'm just going to kind of tee it up and get going here. And I want to ask a question because a lot of people want to know is how long have you been in the golf business, and when did you get involved with GHQ?
Okay, well, 26 years now.
Oh, you're old.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
It all started at Ross Rogers Golf Course.
Where's that?
That's in Amarillo. You know what? It was. I got started because I wanted free golf.
It's a good reason.
I mean, really. And I had a good friend of mine working there, and as everything, as I found out in life, it's who you know.
It is who you know.
And
yeah.
Josh got me a Josh Duckworth. Man, we go way back. I guarantee you, if I saw Josh right now, I haven't seen him in probably 10 years. But if I saw him right now, we'd just pick up right where we left off.
Absolutely. That's what good friends do.
Awesome, dude. So anyway, yeah, that's how I got started. I got started at golf headquarters with Lisa up in Amarillo in 2004.
Holy smoke. So you've been with GHQ for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then the kind of the Midland origin starts in 2008, right? She ended up purchasing golf headquarters from Steve Plemons.
Mm-hmm.
And before golf headquarters, it was Nevada Bob's. If some of you OG Midlanders remember that, it was over here in the corner of the Colonnade Shopping Center where we used to be. And it was Nevada Bob's. Then it became golf headquarters. Lisa purchased it, and Jarrod comes down here in 2008 and starts managing the shop.
Yeah. That old Nevada Bob's footprint was so interesting. They had they had mirrors everywhere. You remember this?
Yeah.
It was I don't know, half golf shop, half like stripper joint or something. I don't know.
Probably. There's no telling what went on in that shop before GHQ got there.
Yeah.
But I know what's happened since GHQ got there, so it doesn't surprise me.
Quick shout out to Steve Plemons.
Absolutely.
One of the finest humans on the planet.
Yeah.
I love Steve so much, and he had such a great business, and life changed for him, and he just wanted to move on, which I respect so much, and he just did it. But one thing about Steve and his shop is he had the coolest saloon doors ever that led out to the store.
Yeah.
Many wrestling entrances and stuff like that you could do. I mean, I worked so many days initially by myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I got here, there were three guys. All three were ready to quit.
Nice.
Right. And they were literally having movie Saturday, watching movies in the back, eating some popcorn,
Hey.
And I sat them down. I was like, guys, this is going to be awesome. We're gonna get back into it. It's gonna be great. But what they understood from jump, and I think what really makes this work, because it really blends well with the community, the Midland community. as you know, all the people here are just fantastic.
Yeah.
But when I showed up, it was, we're going to serve people. That's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do it with as much heart and soul as we can and pour everything into it. And that served us well as far as a business aspect goes. But I think everybody has hopefully felt part of the family that we have here, right?
And that's the key word, is something that was big when I know for me when I first got started. And I have a funny story that I'll tell in a second about when I first met Jarrod. But it is a family. It is a family. It is a family. Not just the guys and the gals that work here, but all the patrons that come in and bless the shop with their presence. Is you guys are family. And we mean that. We love y'all. We care for y'all deeply. We care about your game, and we want you to play your best game because you guys are family to us, and you mean 100%. The world to us because you are what makes our world go around. And so just from the get-go, just know Midland, Odessa, the Permian Basin, all of West Texas, you guys are family. All the people that come in the shop and visit with us, we love the stories. We love your game, and we want you to know your family.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And so I want to kind of move forward with a really funny story when I first met Jarrod. So it's been 13 years since I first came to work for you, almost to the day, April 2011. And I started coming in the shop 2009, a little bit in 2010. I was in the insurance business. And so I would come by the shop on Saturdays, and I'd kind of put a bug in Jarrod's ears like, hey, man, if you ever need part-time help on a Saturday, just I would love to come help. And he kind of gave me like, you're a stalker vibe right off the bat, kind of ignored me to begin with, just to give you an idea. But I pressured him enough to let me start working some Saturdays. But one day before I started working, I walked in here with a King Cobra 454 driver. It was my favorite driver ever from Cobra. And so y'all know, there's a used rack out on that floor that's probably 25 years old.
Easy.
And it is still to this day, although we've probably tackled it, thrown a football, I know I've ran into it at least 100 times. It's still standing. Sometimes I don't know I wonder how, but I brought a driver to trade Jarrod. Wasn't working here yet. And I didn't know what I wanted, but I brought it in, and he said, yeah, let me grab a value for you. You go look around, find something you want. And so I handed him the driver. I walked around the shop for about 30 minutes, and I come back up to him. I was like, man, I didn't find anything I wanted. And there was this leather wallet sitting on the front counter. It is a PGA Tour wallet. It is beautiful. It's fake alligator. It's got this PGA Tour emblem on the front of it. And I pick it up at the counter. He's holding my driver, and I look at it, and I look at him. We meet eyes. He goes, tell you what, how about I give you that wallet and I'll take the driver? I look at the wallet price, and I'm like, heck of a deal. Because I know how old this King Cobra driver is. $49.99 for the wallet. I'm like, perfect. We shake hands. I go home with the wallet. Some 6 months later, I come to work for Jarrod in April of 2011. I walk in, and like my first Saturday, I'm doing grips. I walk out on the floor. I see the used rack, and there sits my King Cobra driver. And I think it's listed at like $95 for sale. I'm like, cool, it's still here. I might pick it back up because everybody knows I love used clubs.
Yes, you do.
And so, as I began to work, I began to understand the cost of things. And me and Jarrod are talking. I'm still using this PGA Tour wallet, and I pull it out, and I asked Jarrod, I said, hey, these wallets are pretty impressive. I'm looking through the system, and I see that they cost you $5. And he proceeds to laugh because he knows I traded a driver for these things. He's like, yeah, man, I went to the NGBA show. They had them on closeout, and they gave me a heck of a deal on like 50 of them. And I got them for $5. And so this is how I get introduced to Jarrod trading a driver in for a wallet, and it cost him $5.
Yeah, that's atypical. Listen, you were just so nice, and so I had to give you a great deal. And I mean, that was a great deal, probably the best deal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a great deal.
Listen, you came in with a 454 Cobra.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even then,
it was
13
old.
Years ago.
It was old.
Yeah. I mean, that driver probably traded for
$5.
$7.50. Yeah. Right. So it's not like I got to you a ton.
No, but I got a great wallet out of it.
Yeah. And did you buy the driver back?
No, I did not buy the driver back. Somebody came in a few days later.
Is it still here or?
If it was still here, it'd be hanging on a wall somewhere in my office. It'd be great. No, so that's how I got introduced to Jarrod. I started working some Saturdays, putting grips on, and then it became a full-time thing. And can I just tell you, Jarrod Lawrence is probably one of the greatest people you'll ever work for because of the family aspect. It is a family deal. He cares for you. He loves you. And just I know from the GHQ crew, we love you, and we're thankful that you give us a space to be ourselves in.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know about all of what you said,
Yeah,
but
it's great.
I will tell you this. Obviously, we've grown a ton.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I was going back to Nevada Bob's, right? So I don't know how many people out there remember this, right? But there's mirrors on the wall, literal mirrors on the wall. And they did this to make it look bigger, I think. And then they had this random, just like middle of the store shelving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where, it would stand about, waist high, and it L'd around, and then you could put shoes in there, right? You could do all kinds of stuff. It's a corral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they had little teeny putting greens, just very intro level, I would say.
Sure.
And this is how shops were back in the day. And I remember when we got here, we started doing a few reno things, right? Wanted to get some new carpet in there, wanted to brighten it up just a pinch. We put some new light fixture stuff in, and we had this big island that was a staple of the Nevada Bob / golf headquarters early on. You remember the big
checkout
islands?
desk.
Yeah. Where you could check out. And they called them cash wraps, and they were super cool, right? But they took up a lot of valuable space. And as you probably remember, we used to shove every possible thing that we could in that store.
Absolutely.
It was unbelievable.
To give you an idea, folks, about 2,500 square feet, but usable space on the floor was probably close to 1,700 or 1,800 square feet.
For sure.
Not including a 300 square foot hitting bay, which had to be there. So by the time we get to active floor space, it was about 1,400 square feet.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, right? We wanted to implement the same day regripping stuff we've been doing.
Yep.
In Amarillo, which is one of the things, I told Lisa, part of serving people is serving people.
Absolutely.
Right? It's, what I used to get so mad about. Yes, this is sales, right? Technically, right? But the guys up in Amarillo, they always would talk about, if I was going to throw up if I heard I helped them one more time.
Yeah.
I helped them. Did you? Did you help them?
Yeah.
Because you're up here just ringing this up and there's no relationship. So that was one of the things I really dove into and poured into up there. It's one of the things I brought with me here was, dude, helping somebody, that's no good for me. We're going to serve them.
Sure.
Right? We're going to serve them. And part of that is caring about your work.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the repair stuff that I saw when I got to Midland, and it wasn't just here, by the way.
Yeah.
It was gross. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
These poor people are walking out with ferrules that weren't turned and, stuff like that just drove me nuts. That's not serving people.
Yeah.
And I wanted it, as you probably remember, it was always about factory.
Yeah.
Factory. But getting back to what we were talking about, the point I'm making is we had to put a shop in the back.
Yep.
We had to have a grip room in the back. We had our bending machine in the back.
Yeah.
Because there was literally no room out on the floor anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And we had this cash wrap. And I think this speaks volumes. It's kind of funny how the story goes, but it speaks volumes, I think, for the community as well as just the work ethic that the guys had, that you had, that Cody Reynolds, who's been here forever, right? it's crazy when I look back how many of y'all's fingerprints are all over this place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's super special. But we're taking the cash wrap down because I can't handle it anymore. Okay. And I want to put the counter closer to the door. And so before we do that, we got to free up this space in the middle of the shop with this cash wrap. And Hamer and I, you remember Cameron,
Camo, yeah.
right? Camo. Which, by the way, Camo and I have a great handshake. I don't know if you know that.
It's the best. Guys, if you haven't seen Camo come in and handshake with Jarrod, maybe we need to record it and put it on the podcast one day.
We could.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, and he and Cody've got a good one too.
They do.
What's
it makes
amazing
me jealous.
is we managed to remember it for almost 20 years, right? And the other day he came in, we forgot. We misstepped on the transition to paper rock scissors. Anyway, I digress. Point is, Cameron was helping me. Everybody was knocking this thing down with sledgehammers, right? We were doing it here in the store. And the next thing, you remember Abuelo's was next door.
Yeah.
Forever.
Oh, Lord. Abuelo.
Oh, so
God rest her soul.
Delicious.
yeah, it's, have you had the Mi Abuelo's Manjar?
No, I haven't.
My gosh, it's awesome.
The salmon and lime
my new
rice.
thing.
The salmon and lime
It's
rice.
gone. They don't have it.
The chimichanga.
The chimmy, yeah, chicken chimmy's good.
It's pretty good. Okay, we're off track.
Sorry, cash wrap. Abuelo's. So this is probably 9, 10 o'clock at night at this point. We're sledgehammering this thing, and we've gotten to the point where, we've got most of it down. And if you can imagine, we've got boards and slatboard, there's nails sticking up, we're trying to be careful not to step on these nails and so on. And we've got the door open because it's 5,000 degrees inside. And all of a sudden, this lady walks in. And Clint and I have no idea who this lady is to this day. I have no idea. Okay. But she was sweet as she could be, as well as drunk as she could be. I think she had as much wine as they would give her that night. And she's on her way to her car, and, maybe she's stumbling a little bit, but she wants a shot at this cash wrap. Oh. And I'm like, sweetie, I don't think that's a good idea. And she's like, get out of the way. You boys don't know what you're doing. Let me have that thing. And she swings and fans it.
Oh, no.
Nearly goes down. Cameron saves her life, if I recall correctly. And she was like, I guess I better go home.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we're going to call you when we get to working on the front counter, which was a total lie. Just, I wanted her to get out of there as liability. But even she came to help, which was awesome,
yeah.
right? With the reno. So it's just incredible how much it's grown.
Absolutely.
And we expanded internally there, and
went to 3,700 square feet almost.
Yeah, it was almost 5,000 total if you counted the back, right?
On the floor.
Yeah, and what was really cool is we could get the grips out. We had that little area over there, and then we basically doubled the size of the hitting bay.
Absolutely.
Right?
Cool story about that. We had the sweet new setup in the hitting bay, tons of space, and a guy named Robert Brown, which is probably one of the strongest people I know. Shout out Robert.
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, he's huge. It's ridiculous.
It's like he bench presses trucks.
So he was trying to do the long drive thing, remember? And he was using the Cobra Blackout driver, which was 48 inches long. And he came in as soon as we opened the new space. It was like the first week. And he's like, hey, I want to hit this driver on the new system and hit some balls. Very first ball, just to give you guys an idea, swing speed about 135, probably pretty close to 140 sometimes. First ball out the gate goes through the screen, through the net, and through the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob doesn't know this, but he almost got banned.
Yeah.
Because he was an animal.
He was an animal.
And it wasn't banned because I was trying to be mean, because I love him.
Yeah.
He's incredible. But it was costing us thousands in nets and screens.
Yeah. So
but here's my question. Does he have the record?
He is the only person in the shop of all the years, and you may know somebody else that I've seen hit a ball over 400.
Well, so I don't know if you know this, but Chappie set 2 records.
Okay.
The first record was on, and I don't know that we can give it to him, right? But the first, because it was on the Vector Pro system.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
You could
But,
tune that thing.
But I made it as accurate as possible.
Sure.
And it was 406.
Okay.
And then years later, once we got TrackMan, Chap came in. And remember, TrackMan, we could barely pick it up if you swung it over 125.
Yeah, we didn't have quite enough space.
Yeah. But I think Chap hit one like 410 or 409, something like that. He broke his own record.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Robert had one over 400. I don't know exactly how far it went, but it went over 400, and he had a ball speed of over 200.
You've probably got a picture of that somewhere. We'll see if we can find it.
It's incredible. It's stupid. It really is stupid.
Have you noticed we have a lightsaber holding these bags up?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. It's kind of the force back there holding these great golf bags up. That was totally an ADD moment.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we are in a new space for a couple of years now. We went from about 2,700 square feet, about 1,500 square feet of floor space, to 5,000 square feet, 3,700 square feet of floor space, to now, how big is the shop?
It's 10,000 total. Active floor space area is a little over 7.
And the beautiful thing is we now have
2 studios.
2 fitting studios.
Yes.
Which has been a lifesaver.
Yeah, and not only, I mean, it solved a huge capacity issue, right? I mean, I was starting to get really creative at the old store, like asking people if I could buy them a drink next door at Tequila's, you right? While they waited in line.
Yeah.
I mean, we were and we were on the you know, we have the scheduling and stuff, and on our old school whiteboard that we would schedule on. Dude, it was full every single day, and if it was a Saturday, forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, for years, people just walked in and got fitted.
Yeah.
There was no problem.
Yep.
And I was so worried about the scheduling. I was like, man, that takes away from serving, you know?
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is look at somebody and say, hey, man, sorry, the studio's full, and it's full the rest of the day. So good luck. So what we started doing is squeeze times.
Yeah.
And we'd get behind.
Yep.
We'd get behind. But everybody was super cool about it. The only time it wasn't cool, and this guy had every right to be upset. You know, it was a big failure on our part. We accidentally erased his name.
Oh no.
Because he had booked it on a Saturday or a Friday, maybe something, for the following week. And so it got written up on Saturday on the board. It got put up early. And then it got erased at the end of the night on Saturday.
Because we thought it was a no-show.
Well, no, we had that appointment filled that morning.
Gotcha.
So we thought that was him, the person erasing the board, which is always the last person anyway, which doesn't mean it's always the fitter that was the first fitter, right?
Correct.
So,
yeah.
And admittedly, I wasn't paying any attention to it. You know, I should have caught that one. And the next week, we had 2 people show up at 9 a.m.
Oh no.
And that was when I said, okay, we got to get better. This mistake cannot happen.
Sure.
Ever again. And the guy was, I would say, understanding for as upset as he justifiably was.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And to my knowledge, he accepted our apology and I believe came back. But man, I've never felt so horrible. And I was doing that first 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm heartbroken for the guy that's having to wait. This other guy, I mean, he had made an appointment, you know, on Monday or whatever it was. It was so bad. And so we desperately needed 2 things. One, the expansion of that area.
Yeah.
2 studios. And I would argue in the summer, as you've probably seen already, we could probably do 3 of them. which was what this back area was originally going to be. It was originally going to be the studios back here.
Yeah.
Where the podcast room is. And then what we were going to do is have a contingency area, meaning we were going to have that travel center and then open up those two areas once that came into play, right? And so we were going to make this a contingency area, meaning in the event that we ever had to expand to 3 studios, we could put one back here.
Sure.
And we kicked that around. There's a load-bearing pillar right here that screwed everything up.
Kind of gets in the way.
Yeah. Otherwise, this would have been perfect back here. You know what I mean? And then they have a bathroom located right in the center of the store. But again, it's kind of cool for the customers.
Absolutely.
To have that, for themselves. So I didn't really want to tear that out.
No.
So we just went with 2.
So that's a very important point, because at the old shop, there was one tiny bathroom.
Right.
That was back by the office.
Yeah.
And
boy, there's some stories in that thing.
There are some stories, and I don't know if I should cue one up, of an elderly gentleman that came in to use the restroom.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was real bad. And the poor man had to go. And
but why here?
He had to go, and he had to go all over the walls and the sink and the toilet. And just
left us a gift in there too.
Left a gift, a very smelly gift.
Yeah.
And
an undergarment.
An undergarment, which was very smelly and brown.
On the floor.
And so the beauty of the expansion is we now have 3 bathrooms, one of which is a private employee bathroom. And then there's 2 customer facing bathrooms, which is amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. And so that's been a big improvement.
Oh, for sure. And then, the second thing from the old studio that we had to improve upon was that Appointment Plus that we got.
Yeah.
So now, we can put it in the system and it's reserved. And that thing is so cool, because if you try to even sneak into someone's fitting, it's a no-go. It's a no-fly zone. It won't even let you book it.
No, not at all.
So, the next steps for that, as you know, we're doing this now.
Yep.
Right. Which I'm super stoked about, which, by the way, I'm going to plug this podcast real quick.
Absolutely.
Because I think this is really important. The whole heart of this, right, was one, to be able to talk to our people.
Absolutely.
Right. And have them have some product stuff and some informational stuff on here and things like that. Right. But the second thing is we're going to have customers on here.
Yeah.
Which I am stoked about.
Yeah.
And by the way, the customer stuff is not to plug Golf Headquarters. They're not going to come on here and say, yeah, Golf Headquarters is the greatest store in the world. They're going to come on here and have conversations just like we're doing now. And then the other thing they're going to do is tell us what's in the bag. How's it working for them? Kind of what their experience is from not only playing fitted product.
Yep.
And in most cases, really nice product, right? And we're just going to dive into all that with them. And then we'll also have the vendors.
Yeah.
So it's going to be super cool. Like, do you know that every major has already contacted me?
Vendor.
Oh, yeah.
About the podcast.
Yeah. TaylorMade wants to be on real bad.
Yep.
Callaway wants to be on real bad.
Yep.
So Cleveland Strixon. And you guys wait till we have Chris on here. Holy cow. You want to talk about a savant.
Yeah.
That guy's a genius, man. Have you met him yet?
I have not.
Oh, my gosh. You're going to buy a Strixon irons as soon as you meet him.
You might. I mean, he might sell me.
Remember, they got the black irons now.
They do have the black irons, which you guys will be seeing today of the filming, a little video about those.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You're such a genius with this stuff, dude. It's super cool.
No, it's kind of a passion thing, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is you get to roll kind of 2 passions in together and create something that is, first of all, going to be very beneficial to our community, and not just the community here. This is going to be a nationwide thing. It's going to reach across all of the United States, North America. But it's fun.
Speaking of United States, North America, did you know that now, for the second straight year,
Here we go.
Second straight year. I'm super proud of this. And I'm super proud of Donnie for this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Donnie O'Brien, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was super nervous when he got in the business. But I also think he didn't know. The way we do it, it ain't easy. Like, you better know your stuff, right?
Right.
And luckily Donnie's a big dork and he loves to study all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
He would say it. I'm not making fun
no,
of the guy,
it's good.
right?
I love it.
But anyway, second year in a row, we are now the number one Adele putter fitter in America last year.
Right.
Or year before last, excuse me.
Now.
And now number one in North America.
That's huge.
Isn't that crazy?
So, and just to give you an idea, if you've never had a putter fitting, which is really unheard of, kind of, getting
Sure.
a putter fit to you, because a putter is so personal and it has to look good and you got to be confident standing over it. You can come in the shop, schedule a 2-hour fitting with Donnie, and it's going to take every bit of 2 hours to get fit for this thing. But you will leave with a putter that actually fits you.
Yeah, and you know, to tack on to that, I encourage everybody to do that.
Sure.
And I'll tell you why. It's not just for the putter in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge that you gain. Bro, he blows my mind over there.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy sets a string out. Now, think about this.
Yeah.
You know, how we do in the studio, right? When we find the right combination for the player, what do? We test it.
Yeah.
We know it's right, but you're really putting yourself on the line there.
Absolutely.
If you really think about the dynamics of that, right? You get the irons the way you want them, right? Okay. And you hand it to the customer. I think this is it, brother. You know, the shaft weight fits your profile. The type of shaft we're putting in here, the shaft dynamics fit your profile, right? The head weight, all the things that fit your profile. Now what's left?
Hit it,
prove it, right? Yeah. You know, and it doesn't happen often, but it can happen where you got to go right back to the drawing board.
Absolutely.
Because it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of what we do.
Absolutely.
Now imagine this guy is putting a string out there 10, 12 feet away, and you got to get it on there 3 times. You got to stop it on the string 3 times, not in front of it, not behind. Donnie gets them to start on the string.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe a roll away or whatever, right? It's a speed control drill. Inside this fitting, that's putting it on the line, bro.
That is laying it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they miss it on the third one, up, no good. Start again.
Yeah.
You know, adjust the weight, start again. You know,
I think the one that makes me the most mad about that whole deal is I consider myself a pretty good putter. I love putters, and I'm it's not bragful, it's not boastful. I can putt pretty good. Is setting up
you're a real squirrel out there with that. You know that, right? It's amazing how many you make.
Setting up at the beginning of the Adele putter fitting, he gets your putter and he puts a little mirror and a laser, and he sets you up to a ball, and you got to see if you're centered or not. And I'm like, oh, this is easy peasy. Like, this is just simple. And so I set up to it. Sure enough, man, I'm set up a little closed and the laser's pointing left.
And by the way, you have about a 1 foot high stand that you know, it's like a flag or a canvas. It's a piece of canvas, right? And it's about a foot tall, right?
Yep.
And it's about 3 foot wide.
Yep.
That's the area you're aiming at. And where were you at?
I was a couple inches left, pretty level with the ball.
Oh, really?
But
you were
level.
level.
I was shut.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, you
But-
could have been like me and top left and not even on the board. That's where you could have been.
Adding some loft to the putter.
Yeah,
I
dude,
like it.
It's so bad.
Well, and that's the beauty of this fitting thing is by the end of it, you do the test again and you're pretty square, which is freaking amazing to think about, that he can put a putter in your hand that works for you.
Yeah, and you know, I still haven't done it. And I need to do it. It's a time thing. You know how it is. I'm running around like an idiot all the time. And I'll tell you what happened.
What happened?
So, my dear friend Rick Gasser and Dub Huckabee.
Okay, here we go.
Rick blessed me so much on Monday.
On Monday,
yeah, it was on this Monday, and he flew me in his plane to Las Vegas, and we were going for the Huckabee Memorial, which is June 20th through 22nd, guys. And if you've never played in the Huckabee Memorial, sign up. It benefits the Life Center. They've saved hundreds and hundreds of babies' lives. It's incredible what the Life Center does. Not only in that regard, but for women in general.
Yeah.
They counsel them, they help them, and it's all Christ-based.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they do there.
And I want to plug also, if you're in Midland and you've never met Dub Huckabee, one of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet, probably one of the greatest golfers you'll ever meet, but 100%. Just the finest human beings, and the foundation that they have is just absolutely incredible.
Dub's Arizona State.
Yeah.
Should have, probably could have made it. Probably could have made it.
No doubt.
Dub was an incredible player.
Yeah.
And still is. He's 70, Clinton.
This is what I wanted to cue up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The fitting the other night.
Yeah.
This fitting, we walk in on Dub and Jarrod's fitting him for some Titleist irons. 70 years old, and he's still swinging a 7-iron 92 miles an hour.
92 miles an hour. And I put him in LA Golf 120Xs.
120Xs, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not like this guy's a chump. I mean, 120. In fact, I got him in the triple diamond as well. Yeah. The AI Smoke triple diamond.
Oh,
it's awesome. I have one of those too. Yeah. My claim to fame is I did outdrive Dub the other day.
Okay.
Talked a little smack. But
circle back to the Vegas trip.
Okay. Well, hang on. I got to tell you about this Triple D because I gave him that Denali. Okay.
Yep.
That X, and it was good. But with Dub, it's got to be perfect.
Got to be perfect.
You understand?
Yep.
And by the way, that's not just because it's Dub Huckabee. He demands that, obviously.
Sure.
But if you're a 25 handicap, we demand the same thing.
It's got to be perfect.
It's got to be perfect.
Yep.
Because we fit dynamically. We don't. Swing speed is important, right? But if we do our job right, swing speed's coming up. So we're basing it on your swing dynamic.
Yep.
And dude, I switched when we got to Vegas. I had glued up the new TB shaft from Diamana.
Yeah.
Okay. I glue that shaft up, and I'm thinking, okay, because Dub tells me before we leave, he was like, it's a little loosey-goosey. I said, okay, no problem. So what I did was I glued up the TB. I take it to Vegas with me on the plane. We get there, and I watched 2 shots with that Denali, and I went, well, Dub, it's good, but it's not perfect. So I clicked the TB in there for him, hand it to him on the range. He hits it, and now it's perfect. It was silly how good he was hitting it. So anyway, we take it out to the golf course, and we're there for the Huckabee Memorial, okay? We're going to play it at Paiute this year.
Okay.
And so we were there to meet with the head golf professional, and then Rick wanted to play the course because he had never played it before. And, let me check my schedule. Okay, yeah, I'm free, right? Never passing that down. Paiute's beautiful, and everybody's going to love playing there.
Sure.
It's super fun. And so anyway, Dub, we get out to the golf course, and he is pounding on that Triple D. He's hitting these irons like nothing you've ever seen. He just throws darts. It's so silly how good he hits it. 70 years old, still playing an X. The X tightened it up enough where I don't recall, but I think he might have missed one fairway. It was awesome the way he was hitting it. And anyway, we were talking about putters, and so here we go. So Big J gets on the greens out there. Takes me a few holes, Clint. I got to feel the speed of the greens out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think Dub got so sick of watching me hit it. Like, bro, literally, I had one that was like a 10-footer, and I had the same amount coming back.
Holy smokes.
Okay, and it wasn't downhill, like sloping or anything crazy. It was Tommy Hammer hands.
Yeah.
Like you have, and I think people will understand this. hopefully I'm not alone here. I might be. But it's like wiggly on the way back.
Sure.
But then the other side of it was I had like this steroid jerk going on.
Yeah.
Like I was like pop stroking it almost. It was crazy. So I hit it in there on, I can't remember what hole it was, but I hit it in there. It's a par 3. I hit it in there. I just hit this beautiful towering shot. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to go in.
Yeah.
I hit it like 4 feet. Don't worry. I
I'm gonna
didn't hit the hole.
On the putt.
Yeah. And so at this point, Dub steps in, which thank God he did, right? Dub steps in because I think he's just so tired of watching me
Miss every
putt like a clown.
Yeah.
And he changes the way in which I set up to it because I'm left-eye dominant right-handed putter.
Gotcha.
Bad combination.
Horrible.
And he just adjusts me one thing. Doesn't change the way I'm squaring up. None of that. Not my grip. Just simply how I approach the ball, which he had me grab instead of with my right hand, my putter, my left hand. And then he wanted me to look at the line, but not turn my head a ton. I just could look with my eyes through my peripheral because I could trace the line better. Clinton, it got stupid.
Start making everything.
Yeah, you know why? I wasn't thinking about the line anymore.
Yeah.
So to get back to what we were talking about with Donnie, that's what he does.
Yeah.
It eliminates the distractions, which is where David Adele was brilliant.
Yeah.
He wanted to eliminate distractions. And when he started that putter fitting concept, I truly believe it changed the game. But there's not enough people that have experienced that fitting process.
Yeah.
Dude, do you realize, I don't know where the count is now, but when we started with Adele 2 years ago, okay, that year, I believe Donnie did 94 or 95 putter fittings.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 93 conversions.
To give you guys an idea, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
93 of the 95 people bought a putter. And dude, the stories go on from those people. They love it. And you know how we are as golfers.
Sure.
Sometimes we got to put the putter in the closet, get the old one out, get the OG out and go
Absolutely.
play. You know, that's just how we are. We're all nuts.
Yeah.
But you know what? Not many people are going to put that up.
Not at all.
And here's what's more important. Even if they do, because they went through that process with Donnie, now they have the knowledge.
Absolutely.
Now they understand why that club works. And Clinton, that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm passionate about, right?
Sure.
I tell people all the time, you drew the short straw, you got the biggest dork here. But, and you guys bust my chops all the time.
I was going there.
Yeah, here we go. You see that? I read that.
Yeah.
I read that right away. He's going to start busting my chops because I take too long, whatever. But you know what? You know who's not mad about that?
The customer.
Yeah,
Not at all.
that's right. You know, and it's because I care so much.
No,
I want
and
it to be right.
I know we give Jarrod a hard time about how long his fittings take because we book, usually most of the guys here will book 3 hours for a full bag, which sometimes is hard to do because a customer can get gassed. We're hitting 200, 250 shots. Jarrod take about 3 hours for a driver, and this is not at all me busting your chops. This is talking about the care and the passion you have for the customer getting in the right club, which is absolutely incredible because the beautiful thing about watching Jarrod fit is the customer may walk in there and they could be hitting the driver all over the face, all over the fairway, everywhere. But by the time they walk out of that room, the driver dispersion has come here.
Yeah.
And the distance has gone 10, 15, 20, 25 yards longer. And they're leaving with the absolute best club for them in that moment. And so it's worth the 3 hours. It really is. It's worth the 2.5, the 2 hours. I've seen some faster fittings, and we have the confidence to know that even with all the guys, when the customer is leaving the shop, they're leaving with the best club for them possible. And we encourage it. You know, we do have a lot of people that will come in and just buy stuff off the rack, but we always try to encourage that, hey, if you are looking to get a set of clubs, give us the opportunity to fit you.
Yeah, for sure.
Give us the opportunity to take a couple hours, get you in the bay to make sure that you are leaving and you are going to go play your best game.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, for all the ladies out there, if they're, buying something for their husband, if they're buying something for a brother, whatever, buy it. We'll sell it to you. Buy it.
Buy it, yeah.
And then they can come back and do a fitting,
Absolutely.
right? If it's a gift. I tell them that all the time.
Absolutely.
And if that's not the one, okay, fine. We'll switch it.
Sure.
We'll just swap it out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then also to the ladies, come get fitted. I know it can be kind of an intimidating thing, right? If you've never done it, but it's so helpful. It's so helpful. Just, if nothing else, just the confidence you can gain from it.
Sure.
And the other thing I don't think people realize, and because we try not to do it, it's kind of like when you're playing, right? And you're in a group on a Sunday when we're off, right? And the guy in the group is struggling. Well, we don't typically teach them in the round, right?
Right.
Unless they ask us.
Sure.
If you get asked, we're in.
Yeah.
We do the same thing back there,
Sure.
right? We don't want to, I think I know where you're going. We don't want to force that on anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Connor wore one to the chin
And
the other day, helping a guy.
Connor, I kind of want you to chime in here and tell your story, and then I'll cue up the video so the podcast gets to watch it. And this, we're not laughing because we're heckling Connor.
No, I get it.
No, I'm heckling him for sure.
But Connor, tell the story, and then we'll cue the video.
Okay, so we're in the bay the other day doing a driver fitting, and getting a little bit towards the end, a little bit of fatigue setting in. So just getting that last little step, making sure that we're completely comfortable and getting our best swings.
Yeah, it's important to note that Connor knew what the guy needed.
Sure, absolutely.
Connor was making sure, doing the test, he was making sure that it was right.
Yeah.
And then the guy, go ahead. The guy wanted to, go ahead.
Making sure that it's right, making sure that with our best swing, it's going right. The fatigue had set in, and we were sliding a little bit, bumping the hips, just getting ahead of the ball. Slice was coming out a little bit more. So doing a little bit of a drill. This drill does require the instructor to stand in front of the person. And I've completely dropped the ball in the communication part and didn't completely explain the drill where I'm standing in front of somebody with the driver in their hand that you're not swinging. So as I get into position, I'm placing the shaft kind of like as a check on their hip, make sure they kind of find that wall, they're not going past it. And next thing I know, 90 miles per hour driver straight to the chin right there. So
Show them the stitches.
is that okay? I mean, I guess right here. Busted it open, got 5 stitches. Couldn't have happened to a better person. I'm very glad it was me. Some other people might have been a little bit frustrated, but got to take responsibility on my part. Completely dropped the ball in the communication part there, and it's not like there was any malice there. Just it happened, and you got to get back out there and got to go finish the fitting. So get it all cleaned up, padded up. Go in there. We finished looking at the numbers. I'm sitting there. Okay, sir. Yeah. So this is what we're looking at. We see this launch, this spin. Look at how tight the dispersion got, and I'm really glad that he can still hear me because my hand's probably in front of my mouth. But end up going with it. He's very apologetic. Great guy. Jesse, if you're watching, we love you, man.
Hey, and to throw in, retired EMS. Jesse Ybarra is a retired firefighter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't letting me get back into that fitting until he knew exactly what the situation was and that I was okay to do it. But, we got in there, finished looking at the numbers, made a couple jokes about it, got himself the driver, and then he came back in the next day. Such a sweet guy. Came in to check on me. I think he came all the way back in from Carlsbad just to come check. So
yeah.
Wow.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, he's a great guy. So we appreciate you.
That's
Keep
awesome.
on coming back in. I know you might be haunted with that driver, but man, it's all good. It could have been way worse. We truly are blessed here at GHQ. So it definitely an experience. So I know now to explain a little bit better.
Sure. And so he called I told Connor this. He called the next day, and he told me to tell Connor. He said he first of all made sure he was okay, and then he says this: I am forever haunted because every time I go to swing, all I see is blood. And
geez.
he goes, that's my karma for hitting Connor in the face, is every time I go to swing, I see blood now. And so here's the video of Connor wearing a full speed driver to the face. That looks like it hurts.
Yeah. Cheeto.
That's
his new name, Cheeto.
Why?
Marlon Cheeto Vera is in the UFC. And Marlon just had a fight with Sean O'Malley.
Wait, did he beat Sean O'Malley?
No, bro.
Oh, okay.
No, Sean O'Malley is a savage. And I thought Cheeto had a really good chance, you know. And if O'Malley ever wants to meet the new Cheeto, Connor,
bro,
you know, maybe he'll see the pod and you know,
over under on 30 seconds.
Send it out to us, right? And we'll get Connor on the Suga show, right?
The Suga show,
with O'Malley. But no, this kid wears a driver to the dome, right to the chin, and then goes back and finishes the fitting.
That's the most impressive part.
Well, dude, that's a character thing. You know, I'm not going to say everybody would have done that.
Yeah.
But I think everybody here would have felt obligated, maybe, or I don't know if that's the right word.
They would have wanted to.
They would have wanted to, right?
Absolutely.
Or the vast majority would have wanted to. But Connor did.
Sure.
Because he's just such a high character guy, man. He's just, you know, we are so blessed to have gotten Connor.
Absolutely.
He's an awesome dude.
Yep.
But to go back out after getting smoked in the chin, by the way, doesn't even stagger him.
Not at all.
The reason we call him Cheeto is Sean O'Malley hit Cheeto Vera with the kitchen sink, man. I mean, Vera could probably get hit by a bus and it not knock him out.
Yeah.
I think his orbital was broken by that knee.
Yeah. He got
your
kneed in the
orbital bone
face,
is
right?
broken.
It would have easily knocked out anybody else in the division. But there's two people it wouldn't have knocked out, and that's Cheeto Vera and Cheeto Benson.
Yeah, Cheeto Benson. And the cool thing is, as you saw in the video, and we'll play it again, is he doesn't let go of the shaft on the hip.
No.
He gets nailed by a driver, sees it coming, moves his chin into the way, and the shaft remains on the guy's hip.
Yeah.
The guy made a great swing.
He really did.
I mean, he accomplished the purpose.
I'll tell you the best thing is he didn't slide.
He did
You know,
not slide.
those hips were, it was a great turn.
He squared up to his chin, too.
Yeah. You know, and of course, you know, not only did he get the chin, but bro, he got the hat too.
He did.
He got the hat
went
off.
missing. And it's just again, Connor wore it. Connor owned it. Connor went back and finished the fitting.
Yeah.
And the customer
Connor got stitches.
And then, yes, left very quickly after the fitting to go get 5 stitches in his face. And just another day in the shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, you know, I wore one to the face one time by a young lady that I was fitting. And Maddie could swing it.
Yeah.
Right. She had some power. And I took one right to the side of the dome. After it was with the old net, right? So we didn't have the screens and stuff. And bless her little heart, she was just trying to make a practice swing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I was just collecting the balls and bringing them back over. And I mean, I turned and whack, hit me right in the side of the face, but I didn't even get stitches, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've had a few little things, but in those bays, it's not that dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get out in front of the person.
Well, not always. There's a Sean Spicer story at the old shop.
Good old Sean Spicer.
Where he's standing, say the camera is the gentleman hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Spicer is standing right here where I'm sitting. Right? He's standing.
Oh, you're talking about, yes.
He's standing right where
The
I'm
hybrid.
sitting. And the gentleman swings.
Yeah.
And the ball does not go towards the net. It goes towards Sean and hits right beside him.
Yeah.
a 90-degree angle, not 1 to 2 degrees offline, 90 degrees offline, and hits right beside Sean.
Yeah, that was a close one. Sean came to the back and was just, he had this stare like this at the desk. I was like, Sean, what are you doing?
And Sean's not a quiet person.
No, he was speechless.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to say. Gosh, I miss Shawnee boy.
Oh, Sean Spicer.
I tell you what, man, that kid right there, you know, I'll tell this quick story about Shawnee. He's such a smart aleck, right? But he's so quick-witted. Every customer loved him.
Yeah.
And he has this incredible ability that even if he makes you mad, he can flip you just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's just got this incredible ability to disarm you with a joke or, you know, with something more asinine than what he just said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm in the back one day and we've had all this freight pile up and I'm not happy, right? Because not only do we have to serve our customers, but we have to serve each other.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of it. So we have to work as a team and as a family, and, guys, families fight.
Sure.
Brothers and sisters fight, right?
Absolutely.
So it's not always roses, but the other part of fighting is what? Making up. Yeah.
Coming back together. Yeah.
Compromise and coming back together. There was no compromise on this one. The back room, you can't even walk in it. There's so much crap back there. And I've got people, Sean, and I believe it was Jacob, but I can't remember. Jake Peretti. It was Paredes?
Paredes.
Paredes,
Yep.
yeah.
Which is jacked by the way now.
Oh, yeah. He's yoked, bro.
Yeah.
Loved that kid, man.
Good kid.
Yeah, he's doing good things, too.
Yeah.
That's another point of pride, if people leave here, they do great things.
Absolutely.
They get such good experience. But anyway, Sean's in the back and I'm tossing some stuff over, right? I'm tossing some product and I'm letting them have it. You guys haven't done this. You haven't done that. Yeah, here, we'll just toss it all over here. It's worthless, right? Blah, blah, blah. Somebody needs to get their tail back here. You're just standing here. Why don't you check some stuff in? Put the tags on. Take it out. Go ahead, right? And Shawnee looks at me and he asks, hands down, the dumbest question. And I don't even know what he said, Clinton. But it just mind-bombed me. And I looked at him and I was like, Sean, what does that have to do with the price of peanuts? And you know what he says? Jarrod, we don't sell peanuts here. And I go from like a 10. I'm so ticked. I'm a 10.
Yeah.
Right? My BP's at about 205. All I could do was laugh.
Just level.
He got me.
He has a way of doing it. Yeah.
1-0 Sean, right?
Yeah.
God, I miss that kid, man.
Good
I love
kid.
it when he stops by.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
So this has been an amazing first episode, but I want to end it with one thing. Jarrod gets to go to the Masters this year. He's going with Callaway Golf, and he's going to tournament days, if I'm correct, right?
Correct, yeah.
He's going to tournament days. He gets to go to the Masters. So I want to end it with a question. And the question is this. If you had a chance to play one round at Augusta National and you got to play with 3 other people, who is your match with?
Do they have to be living? Or
No,
is it just all time?
If you could play with any 3 people at Augusta National for one round, who would it be with?
Well, the legendary and precious Krista Escamilla asked me a very similar question.
Really?
Yeah. When I was on her Krista Escamilla show, which
Sure.
if you haven't watched Krista Escamilla, get on there and watch her. She is so talented.
Yeah.
And I just love her entire family. The Escamilla kiddos are as good as it gets.
Legendary golfers too.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, that Alex, he's the one.
Yep.
The kid's a freak.
He's him.
He's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So who would I play with? Well, as you know, my my sweet uncle Tom Hall passed away.
Yep.
And regardless, it would definitely be him.
Sure.
He would have to be there. And because he's there, can I have 5?
Absolutely. I'll give you 5.
I mean,
I don't know if
surely
Augusta National allows it.
Listen, if I got Jack with me, they'll let me play 5.
Okay, yeah, 5.
Okay, so because Tom's there, Jack has to play.
Okay.
And then Tiger
Woods, Big Cat.
Yep. That'd be so sick. You know what? I wouldn't even be able to pull it away. And then finally, the big man.
Play with Jesus.
Yep.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, man, that guy's probably scratch.
He never misses. No, even his ball wouldn't sink in the water.
He'd shoot an 18.
Think about that. His ball would stay on top of the water.
I would call him out for that.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's cheating.
Be like, look, bro.
I don't have that advantage.
Either give me the power to do it.
Right. He would do the old Peter thing, right? Jesus, if it is you, bid me to come out on the water.
Yeah.
He's like, well, then come on. And so he would do the same thing with you. As long as you keep your eyes on me.
Yeah.
But I got to keep my eyes on the ball, God. Well, then you start sinking.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So Jesus, Tom, Jack, and Tiger.
That's it.
That is a legendary pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and an honorable mention there, of course, would be my father.
Absolutely.
But look, Daddy. Listen.
Tread lightly.
My dad probably could swing it now anyway.
Sure.
Right? He's had so many surgeries and stuff. But I don't think my dad would want to play there.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, he would enjoy it, right? But he would be so nervous the whole time to hurt something.
Yeah.
To dig too deep, and he would do that.
To mess up the lawn. Yeah.
We'll talk about him more. There's some great stories of old Curtis out there playing golf.
Yeah.
My dad's name is Curtis
Absolutely.
too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad's name is Curtis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why
I think that's why we're connected.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks so much for joining us on the very first episode of the GHQ Crew podcast. This is going to be a bi-monthly thing for now, and then it will probably turn into a weekly, depending on how it rolls. Again, we're going to have reps for the major vendors or the major club providers on here, and they're going to get to kind of tell us about what's here and what's coming, which is very exciting. And then we're going to have our patrons come on here and tell the stories of their golf game, of how they got started and how they've impacted the community as well, which is very, very exciting. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button, get this out to all your family and friends. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Yes, sir. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.